Hello everyone and welcome to today's video where we will learn the concept of Java inheritance. So first we have to understand why, then we will understand what. So reusability always a concern, and as a good developer you always have to think the reusability. So what I mean to say, let's say you have create a class with some functionalities with some properties, okay, and now there is another chance to create another class where the same functionality you have to rebuild, okay. So instead of rebuilding the same functionality again and again, you can reuse the existing functionality which you already implemented in another class. So this type of reusability always a good sign for a good developer, okay, and that's why we use inheritance. So if you take the definitions of inheritance, so here it says in Java you can create new class. So definitely you can create new class, and you can also reuse the properties of existing class that you already built or implemented, okay. Now this mechanism of driving a new class from an old one is called inheritance. So let's take an example then understand clearly, okay. So let's say in your house there is three room, one is bedroom, one is dining room, and one is kitchen room, okay. Now you can see that all these rooms should have some length, width and height, and based on these three parameter we can calculate area and volume, right? So all these properties or behavior basically available under bedroom, dining room and kitchen room, right? Now let's say for bedroom you have some specific property, let's say bed count. So for this room let's say bed count is 1. Now for this dining room, let's say it says table shape, means what is the dining table shape? It can be rectangle, oval or square, right? Similarly for kitchen room, a specific property, let's say chimney install or not, okay. So this way you can maintain some specific properties as well. Now thing is that these are basically common property for all these three, and these are basically specific property for a specific room. So we can actually create a room class where we can maintain all these type of common properties, okay, and we can reuse these for this bedroom, dining room or kitchen room. So if we actually inherit the room class, so that's mean this bedroom class, if it inherit room class, so it will get this bedroom class get the properties or access of length, width, height, area and volume, as well as its own property, that is bed count. Similarly if I take the dining room, and if it's inherit room class, so if this dining room basically get the access of length, width, height, area and volume and its special property, that is basically table shape, and that is also applicable for kitchen room. So this way you can create a particular class or a specific class and reuse the existing class properties or behavior. So if I again go to the definitions, so you can see here the same thing it's written here: create a new class and reuse the property of existing class, where the new class is our bedroom, kitchen room or dining room, and the properties of existing class is nothing but the room class, okay. And this mechanism of driving a new class, that is basically driving bedroom or the kitchen room or dining room from an old one means our base class or room class, this mechanism is called inheritance. Now we try to understand how many type of inheritance available in Java or Java support with some real world scenario, okay. So let's go one by one. Now in this diagram I have given this is parent and let's say this is child. So parent child relationship. Now tell me, is it possible or not one parent and one child? So one parent can have one child, is it possible? Definitely it's possible. So if it's possible in real world, then this is also supported by Java, and we can create a parent class, okay. So that is basically A, and this A is nothing but parent class. We can also say base class or super class, and we can create another class B, and which is called, you can say, as a child class or as a derived class, or you can say as a subclass. So from B we can inherit the properties of A, that is basically parent class. And as this relationship is possible, one parent one child, so this is also possible A and B, one parent class and one child class. And you can see here, as there is one child class, so it is called single inheritance. So in Java it is called single inheritance. Now coming to the next scenario, so here you can see I have given one parent and then its child, and again this child has its child, or you can say it's a grandchild. So this is a relationship, and this relationship, is it possible? Definitely it's also possible. So if it's possible in real world, in Java also it's possible. So we can create a class which is called parent class, base class, or super class, whatever you can say. Now for this class A, we can create a child class B, and B can inherit the properties of A. Okay, now if we take B as a parent class or base class or super class, so we can create another class C, which is basically child class of B, or that is basically a parent class, or we can say this is a grandchild of A. So we can maintain this type of level because this is possible in real world. So definitely in Java it is also possible. And here you can see we are maintaining level. You can maintain more level, let's say D class under C. Okay, similarly E class under D. So you can maintain multiple level. So as we are maintaining multiple levels, so this type of inheritance is called multi-level inheritance. So previous one is single inheritance, this is called multi-level inheritance. Now go to the next concept. So here you can see I have given one parent and many child, 1 2 3 4 5 6, any child can be possible. So is it possible? Definitely in real world it is possible. And if it's possible in real world, Java also support the same scenario. So let's say I have created a parent class A, and from B, C, D, these three child class, I can easily inherit the properties of A class. So this type of relationship is also possible in Java, and this is maintain a hierarchy. So that's why it is called hierarchical inheritance. So you can see here A and 3 child, that is basically BCD, a hierarchy it's maintained, so it is called hierarchical inheritance. Okay, now coming to the next scenario, let's say you have one child and many parents. So is it possible? Definitely it is not possible, right? So as it's not possible in real world, in Java this is also not possible. You cannot create multiple parent class ABC, and from a single child class you cannot inherit all these three parent class properties. So this is not possible. So this type of inheritance called multiple inheritance, but this is not supported by Java. Now let's say you have some scenario like this, that you have to inherit some property from this class or this class or this class. So if it's not possible, how Java overcome this type of situation? So for that, Java basically support another concept which is called interface, that we will learn after completion of our inheritance concept or inheritance programming or coding concept. Okay, then we will understand what is interface, but for the time being you have to understand what is actually inheritance and how many type of inheritance Java support. So if you understand this class or this inheritance concept, then in our next class we will try to implement this type of inheritance, that is basically single, multi-level or multiple, with some Java coding. So let's meet in our next class to understand all this concept with Java coding.
I believe this video has helped you to understand about the topic. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, click on the bell notifications and select all so that you don't miss any video from this channel.